guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog. Today I'm basically calling myself out because this thing is turning into a hoopty. Not really, but like in my mind it needs some help, and I want to show you guys. I'm basically calling myself out, like the things wrong with my car that I really want to take care of today because I have some extra time. So the car was rewrapped. One, it's super dirty. That's one thing I'm going to take care of, but I can't do that right now because as you can see, it's full sun. I really need that spot that's in the shade, but right now I'm just going to be focusing on fitment and things like that. But this bumper fitment is really what I don't like. Is it's starting to like peel down right here. It's nice and tight on this side, even on this side with the bumper bracket. But whenever you come over on this side, the passenger side, you can see I have a little gap. So I want to see if I can fix that. I think that might have happened by me just pulling in and out of parking spots, not airing up, just because I'm a wild kid and I don't want to do that, even though I have the airlift suspension. Speaking of airlift suspension, let's take it around to the back side. Before we hop into the trunk with the airlift suspension setup, I do have a carbon fiber GT500 wing, which looks amazing, but I don't know if you guys can see this on camera, but it's starting to haze up. Like it's supposed to look more like this. It's starting to get cloudy. Truth be told, like this really does need a clear coat. Like it really needs to be re-clear coated, but I'm going to use the polisher and just kind of polish it out for the season. I also want to go ahead and tint this third brake light. I should have that kit from Anchor Room, as well as down here I should have the tint kit for the GT500 reflectors, or the GT500 diffuser reflectors. And then again later I want to wash the entire car. So without further ado, let's pop the trunk and show you guys what I'm talking about with the airlift. I'm only running a single compressor. I definitely want to do a dual compressor in the future, but right now we're just running a single. But also you can see my MSD booster pump there. I'm having an issue where I'm actually getting air leakage. So whenever I let the car sit for a few days, it'll basically drain the air tank and it'll start the compressor immediately whenever I start it up. So it doesn't run the compressor while the car's off, so that way it saves my battery. But it's just kind of annoying recently how the car has been immediately kicking on the compressor and my tank is totally dead, at like 0 PSI. So I need to figure out where that is leaking. Now I know it's not a corner leak, like not coming from the airbag actually in the suspension, because the car maintains its height. Now if I set it and I have to park it in here with the full ride height up, and if I came out and it was fully aired out, I would know I have a bag leak or a major bag leak on all four corners if they all four are aired out. But I do know that this is just coming from the tank, so we're going to use like soapy water, which is also what I'm going to use for the tint, and we'll be able to squirt that and see if it bubbles, and hopefully we can see where this air leak is coming from. Maybe just Teflon tape the fitting and it'll be fixed. First step here, because the car is dirty. Now if this was a freshly clean car, we wouldn't have this problem. We're going to detail spray the wing and just make sure that it's nice and clean, no dirt or anything, because you will be using, or I will be, using a machine polisher. So if I have that on a dirty wing, then it's just going to end up like swirling all that right back into the wing. So let's avoid that very quickly with an easy wipe down using some detail spray and microfiber cloth. Alrighty you guys, so right here, I'm not going to go fully into detail about how do you polish out your car, but just really quickly, I'm using a Harbor Freight Chicago Electric DA, as you can see there. This thing has seen some crap. It's super old, but it was cheap at the time. We have a backing pad. I put the line there just so that way you know it's still spinning. We're using a microfiber pad here that's made to fit. We're going to start off with microfiber pad and HD cut. Now this doesn't mean you have to use this necessarily, but it's something I'm using. And then we're going to end up following up to finish off with HD polish and an orange pad. So you want to find basically, based on your car, based on your paint, what's the right pad and polish combo, because they're more aggressive or least aggressive as you work them together. So we're going to start off here and see how it turns out. I found the perfect product we're going to use for this. So this is the Liquid X Impact Ceramic Wax. I just shook it up, so it's definitely looking extra full here. But this thing actually says it'll protect against UV, also the elements, things like that. So the instructions are, put it on a microfiber towel. You're going to rub it in and just cover the entire surface, your desired surface here. Let it sit for 10 minutes and you're going to use another cloth, like a microfiber, and buff it off. So we're going to go ahead and put a coat of this on. It is a ceramic wax, so I'm hoping it lasts a little bit longer than usual. Liquid X has always been my go-to. Check them out. They have a ton of stuff from like polishing, what we just did. I actually don't have their polish yet, but I do need to get it. And they have all my cleaning stuff that I use. The soap, the wash, the wax, the everything. You can see it all at Liquid X. So check them out. I have a link down in the description below. So here we are on the back side of the car, and we have the third brake light. Now, way back in the day, my car used to have like a coyote sticker across the back, so you could probably see that in there. But we are going to cover that up anyways with the Anchor Room third brake light kit here, which fits perfectly pre-cut. So all we got to do here is spray some soapy water on this surface. It's going to get all over this stuff. Again, that's why I wanted to do this before I wash the car, so I can clean that tonight. And then from there, we'll hopefully get everything dialed in and have this thing tinted. So also you're going to need like a credit card or a squeegee, something like that, to get this in there. But because this is such a small flat section, it should be relatively easy. The first thing you're going to do, go ahead and spray your soapy water into the area. Make sure it's nice and soaked. And then as you peel back on the tint here, we're going to also spray that with soapy water. So again, such a nice, easy, straight, and small piece of tint. We should be able to spray it and get it installed quickly and slide it around nice and easy. So we have that all soaked, slide it into place, pre-cut like I said. So very easy, line her up. Now we're going to spray the other side of it, just so that way this card spray or a smooth glide here, and we're going to start to press it out. So the biggest difficulty here is just your area that you have to glide and squeegee out. So we're going to take our time, squeegee out as much as we can before you touch anything with a microfiber, because you can lift it. And as you can see, I'm using a headlamp because it's tucked under my GT500 wing. I want to be careful about the edges. Make sure I'm just squeegeeing and trying to absorb all the liquid in there. But yeah, there we go. A nice and blacked out third brake light. Next, we're going to do the diffuser reflectors here, which should be pretty simple. Again, thanks to Anchor Room having the pre-cut, so you can see it's just like that. We're going to go ahead and I'm just going to tear carefully, so that way it makes it a little bit more manageable. Now we have the right side here. We're going to do the same thing. It should be, again, very simple because it's flat. It's not like a super obvious place where it has to be dead perfect. It's mainly just to get rid of the red here while everything else is pretty much blacked out. So we're going to do that, and this should make a pretty big difference as far as the rear end goes, just so it's all cohesive. Carefully start to squeegee. I don't even have room for a squeegee in here, so I'm just using my finger to push that liquid out. Hopefully you guys can see that because now it's blacked out. And, oh, we just slid it. Still not ready. That's what I was talking about. I just made the same mistake. Got to be careful with the microfibers here while it's still very slidey and wet, until that all gets dried out, which it should do on its own, or you can use a hairdryer to expedite. It's probably going to immediately look. We only have 98 psi. Way too low. We have an air leak. So now I'm just going to let the car pump up its pressure so that we have all of it in the tank, and hopefully that makes it easier to find the air leak. We're just going to see exactly where this is coming from. My guess is going to be one of the fittings. Saying driver door and the trunk is ajar? No, they're not. They're trunks and doors. They're not jars. Sorry, I had to. That was a grandpa joke, and I literally got that from my grandpa. As we go and drain this, you're going to see water just shoot all over the place. So I'm going to try and cover enough to where the speakers don't get affected here, but I do want to show you guys. It's bad. It's really bad. So you can get a kind of a feel there of how much water we have within my system. So we're going to have to drain this at 170 psi and catch all of this water while it's shooting all around us. So this will be fun. How do we do this safely? Very frothy. It's very frothy. This is fun. So that was a bit of a win and a fail altogether. So the fail part was I don't know where the leak's coming from. I tried to spray the soapy water. I couldn't see crap. But the win was maybe all the liquid that's in my air system was not good for it and causing it to leak. So we got rid of that. I'm gonna order the water traps, that way we can try to avoid that in the future. So I guess it was a win and a fail. Maybe now it will stop leaking, because I didn't have this before. So maybe all that moisture and all that in there is not good for it. So we'll see from here. I did also torque all of my fittings just a hair, just to see maybe over time if they've gotten loose or something like that. But yeah, that's kind of the win and fail there of the air system. Now let's see what we can do about this bumper. We'll see what I can do. I don't want to mess up the wrap, and I want to be very, very careful of that, but we're going to see what we can do. I'm going to flip the car around so that we can work on the bumper right here in the garage. Some of you guys may not care about this or notice it, but it's just this part right here. And now that I'm bringing notice to it or pointing it out, you guys may start to see it. But see this gap, how it's tight here and it starts to wean off here. Now this is something I think is just caused by my bumper fitment, because if you push up there, it's supposed to be probably around there. So I got to figure out why that's happening. I'm going to go ahead and pop the hood and then start to take off this bracket on the back side here. It pops in, it has tabs. So you're like right there, like that's doable for me. I would love to have that, but I wonder why it keeps sagging. So I want to help stop the sag. Hashtag stop the sag. We're going to fix that right now, hopefully. All right, so this gap right here, I believe I just fixed by just readjusting the bumper bracket and pressing it in place. That's about OEM. Obviously, we have ripples here. You guys are going to see that. That's with basically any wrap job. No wrap job is perfect. It's just not a paint job. And you know it's stretched across a material in a round shape. You know it's going to have that. So I'm not too concerned with that. I feel better about that gap. Now I just want to see if I need to add like push pins or something to keep this up so it stays nice and tight. So I'm going to take off the cowl here. Actually, I might do a test fit here. How's that looking? Let's see. Looking somewhat better. It needs to still like hold itself tight. So I'm going to see here if there's any like push pins or something I'm missing that need to go in there to hopefully keep that looking tight. So that way this gap, you can see the weather stripping here, is more like that. That's really what I want right there. So this bolt is basically hand tight and loose. And you can see that's where that wiggle comes from. So all these are nice and tight. We just got to tighten this baby up. So let's go ahead and do that. And I think from there, that should help our fitment just stay up tight how we like it. On the camera, it looks like this one still is drooping just a slight bit. Like, it's like it needs to come up. It's weird. It's so weird. I might have, I don't know, did I hit a parking block and screw something up here? Just kind of weird how saggy this side is versus this side starts to get tight. I don't know. I'm really going to work on that, but I saw some of those things in there. Please leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions about this fitment. I'm trying to figure this out because it's something so small. I tried to fix it. If you guys have any suggestions, please leave a comment down below because I really would like to fix that and get it like OEM perfect. Again, I'm not a body shop guy. I don't really know anything about body work or anything like that. So all this stuff is me just kind of guesstimating and testing it here on camera. But I'd like to get that a little bit tighter. Let me know if you guys have ever had this issue with your car before. But yeah, I want to try to dial this thing in, especially because summer's coming up here quickly. We're going to have shows. People are getting back out. All the craziness of the last couple of years is kind of dying out. And hopefully people start throwing shows and events and we can start heading out and seeing you guys and just, I don't know, hanging out. So fixed the wing a little bit there. The taillight tint's coming along. Again, the car's super dirty. Don't judge me. Taillight tint actually really did a big thing here and like brought it all together. Again, super dusty. We also fixed the bumper fitment slightly. We also found out I have a ton of water in my air system, so I probably need to order a water trap like right now. So after I finish this video, I'll probably order that. But again, at least we started on some of this stuff to unhoopty the Mustang. I'm going to use that word a lot. I'm using that word a lot, actually, the hoopty, but I don't know. To some people, this is their dream car. To me, it just felt like I was nitpicking a lot of the small things that made me not want to drive it, which sounds so dumb when I actually say it out loud. But yeah, I was like embarrassed of my front bumper fitment or like embarrassed by the wing being cloudy. Like there's just small things like that that to me make the car embarrassing to drive, but to others like they wouldn't care at all. So I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it, maybe I'm being too much of a perfectionist here, but to me it felt like I was embarrassed to take it out and have people look at it because I feel like I'm going to be judged by it. But yeah, that's just me kind of getting it off my chest here. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up right here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave your comments down below, especially if you've ever fixed something like this on your bumper. I'm all ears. I definitely need suggestions on that. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.